Okay, so here we are, fellas, inside a Lincoln Electric Handy MIG. Fairly robust looking design here. I like what I'm seeing. What we have here is a big diode. It does have a fairly robust transformer, which appears to have a center tap, which is what all these switches are about. They're center tapping the voltage. This large item here is an inductor, and this is hooked directly in series with the welder itself. Man, that's a really stiff wire right there too. Massive conductor. I kind of like that. The reason they use this is to mitigate something called harmonic distortion of current, which is caused by high amperage transformers. They put off so much magnetic fields that as one field's collapsing, electricity is trying to travel through another wire and a counter electromotive force is induced. So this mitigates that and enables the DC transformer or the DC current output to be higher, because capacitors alone won't do it when you have a DC system of this much current. You have to use an inductor. These are also called chokes. As far as the fan setup, I kind of like what I'm seeing there also. They have this configured where the air is blown directly out of the back of the units versus just blowing hot air all over the place. And what I'm seeing here is it appears the cool incoming air comes up from the bottom over the diode, which is what we want to see. We want this getting cooled first, and then the air is brought back over the transformer here. There's a very small motor running that driver, which concerns me. You want a lot of power in your driver because we all know how these wheels can click up. They act a little funny. They're not consistent in the way they spin sometimes, and that's going to show up in your weld. So if you're looking to do really nice welds, that may not be a possibility with a motor that small. I'm not a good enough welder to know if I just suck at it so bad I'll never have good welds, or if it's the junk machines that I'm using that are causing the welds to be poor quality. I do kind of like what I'm seeing here. This is a very good wire, thick, high amperage wire, really nice looking diode. I'm not sure what I think about this size of the vent here. I'd almost want forced air directly on my diode personally, but that's just how I am. I mean, that's part of the duty cycle rating of this thing, I would imagine. Another thing that limits the duty cycle in this is going to be the tip, of course, of this rather feeble gun. It's not quite that great. But as far as duty cycle, I have never had this thing, the thermal trip, shut down on me. And I have welded together some extremely large items. You see the beads I was running here. Never once did this welder shut down during the fabrication of this heater. So definitely happy with the buy. I'm glad I figured out this issue with the wire feed, because I'm a total idiot, guys. I'm not a welder. I didn't know that this wire feed, this little wheel right here, can be adjusted. If you change wire from 0.035 or 35 thousandths of an inch, you have to take this wheel out and flip it over to the 0.06 or the 0.6 millimeter side. I didn't know that. The thing wasn't feeding right. Here I am blaming Lincoln, and I'm just an idiot all along. So there you have it. If anyone wanted to see the inside of one of these things, it is fairly well made. I am pleased with the transformers. Really nice looking transformers. And I like the design of this too. Notice the secondary is wrapped around the primary, guys. I don't know, this doesn't have the same design we're used to seeing, the secondary on top and the primary on bottom. If there's any electrical engineers out there who know what's going on here, let me know. That's kind of an interesting choice they have there. The secondary wraps around the primary. I didn't know that was even feasible. You would think that would affect the AC current in some way. I'm going to throw this back together, and I will leave a link in the description for this particular model so you can check the current prices. They do change a lot. I think I paid $300 for this, but I don't know. But if you do click this link, it will take you to a whole different source of all different types of welders, not just Lincoln Electric. I also have some on the storefront page link I'm going to leave, but check it out and see what we got going on over there. This is a 115 volt waffle fan. I've never seen that before. Interesting. I do indeed like that. This thing puts off quite a bit of air too, so that's good. I'm gonna call it a day on that, guys, and I hope the wire feed issue that I presented helps some of you out. So all in all, I do endorse this product. I haven't had any huge issues with it yet that weren't a fault of my own anyway. I did drop it one time, this handle, really hard, and a connector came loose inside of here, and I had to take it apart and plug the wire back in. But other than that, I'm keeping track of how many spools of wire I've used. When it breaks down, I would definitely post a video. This is the CO2 regulator that came with the unit. I don't have the instructions in the garage anyway, so I would imagine they tell you how to adjust this thing to turn it off and on and all that good stuff. I would assume you would want to buy an inline flow regulator, but it's hard to say. I don't know. I don't know if I'll ever even use the MIG